All right, welcome to the Chantay Golson Show, where every entrepreneur and C-level and above executive come to gain restorative strategies that would help them to increase their outcomes and their bottom lines as a result of burnout. And we have a special guest today, Toy Penny, who is going to talk to us about her identification of burnout and how she helps CEO moms as well as celebrities to put their oxygen mask on, learning how to take care of themselves first before they take care of other people. And so Toy is a holistic well-being strategist. She's also a creator of the Love You More method, and additionally, a CEO, mom interventionist, and author. Welcome, Toy. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited today.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into this meaty information as we are helping the entrepreneurs and the C-levels to really understand that they can recover from burnout. And so we're going to contribute to giving them tools, processes, and strategies today, or even abilities to shift their mindset for the purpose of helping them to be more productive. Now, tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So my background, and I'm going to try to keep this short, but it's a crazy story. But so my background, my mother passed away of lupus when I was about 9 years old. My father was not present until I was about 17 years old. I was sexually abused at the age of 13, and I became a teenage mom at the age of 16 and gave birth to her at 1 week into my 17th birthday. So I knew that I wanted to up level and provide for my daughter, but I just didn't know how that was going to happen. I didn't know, but I knew that there was something there. But I remember giving birth to my daughter and saying, "It's just me and you, and I won't disappoint you." And from there, something just lifted out of me and I just took off. So shortly after high school, I went off to massage therapy school and immediately got hired at this high-end luxury day spa where I was working there, got my first apartment, got my first brand new ride. My daughter and I was doing pretty good. And the owner came to me and asked me if I wanted to buy the place. Now I'm 22 years old and I'm like, wait, what? You want to buy the place? So what I did was I bartered services with a couple of clients who were attorneys, and they represented me in the sale. And the next thing you know, I am 23 years old and the owner and CEO of a high-end luxury day spa. I have 15 employees and I am a single mom and I'm trying to do it all. Well, here's where, no. So what happened was, it was just absolutely great financially. My daughter and I traveled, we wanted for nothing. And I built my first home from the ground up at the age of 24. But here's where my downfall happened. I began to develop this facade of I have it all together in my career, but all the while things on the back end were falling apart. Things like bits and pieces of my health. I was eating out every single day. My relationships were falling apart. And my relationship with my daughter was also falling apart. Why? Because I was diving all the way into this business, really trying to make it flourish and grow, but then everything else was falling apart. So long story short, I knew that I wanted to set my life up to get married and have more kids. And I met this dude from the US Virgin Islands of St. Thomas, and we started dating and talking. And we went to the US Virgin Islands, and then on the plane ride back, God whispered in my ear and told me to sell the business. So I found a broker. I found a lovely husband and wife couple, and the next thing you know, I am out the door. I'm signing the line on the contract, and the money is in my account. So I start toypenny.com. And well, shortly after that, I went to nutrition school / lifestyle school. And I learned there that your lifestyle and your food was directly tied together. So I started putting two and two together. And those voids that I had in my childhood had started manifesting through my actions as a CEO when I was the CEO of the high-end luxury day spa. So anyway, shortly after I got married, Me and the guy had a couple more kids, and that's basically it. That is where the Love You More method began. I began to feel this little overwhelm and this little burnout, and I was like, okay, something has got to give. God gave me a word and said, when you're whole and complete within yourself, everything else falls into place, and that's where the Love You More method began.
Okay, so Toy, tell us your definition of burnout.
Man, so burnout to me is when you are not putting your oxygen mask on first. You're not making yourself a priority and your fuel is very low. So you are burning out in all areas of your life. And to me, that's what burnout is.
And so when you experienced this burnout, what were some of the physical elements that allowed you to realize that something wasn't right? How was it manifesting physically?
Man, my brain, I had a brain fog. I had lots of brain fog. I was snapping at everyone, snapping at my staff and my children. So I was short-tempered. I couldn't last the whole day. I barely could sleep. I had anxiety. I mean, there was a lot going on. And not to mention eating out every single day.
Yeah. Did you find that burnout manifests in other areas of your life as well?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Just like I mentioned before, my relationships. Like I said, I'm snapping, didn't feel like spending time with people, just all of that. My spiritual practice, my sleep, everything was just off. It was completely off.
Okay. And did you start, so would you say you started turning into another person that you didn't recognize?
A completely different person, completely different person. Yeah.
Okay. And how long did you go through burnout? What was your phase?
Ooh, as a CEO, it took me probably about 4 years, you all, until I realized this was burnout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a long time.
All right. And so once you gained that acknowledgement, is that where you got started as the holistic well-being strategist, or were you kind of?
Exactly.
Okay. So let's talk about that in terms of, the starting process. What led to that process? Why did you say, yes, I need to be this for CEO moms?
So for me, when I realized what happened was it was the food for me. It was the food. So I came home from work one day. I had 4 slices of cold pizza and I fed my daughter a chili cheese dog. And I was like, wait, what? Something has got to give. So the light bulb for me was the food, because I knew that I wasn't supposed to be fueling my body like this, and then waking up and trying to run a company on this type of fuel. So that was the big aha moment for me.
Okay. So when you talk about the importance of putting the oxygen mask on first as leaders, let's talk about the why behind that. Why is it so important?
Because you are the leader. It basically everything starts with you. So if you don't pour into yourself, you certainly can't pour into others. And if you don't make yourself a priority, there is no way you can make others a priority, or you can do other things for people. So you think about the teacher in a classroom. Who do you think is the most important person in the classroom? It's certainly not the students, it's the teacher, because the teacher needs to educate the students. And without the teacher, there will be no education. So we need to be able to pour into ourselves so that we can then pour into others.
Okay. All right. So again, that goes in the basis of fueling ourselves with the right things. So you say that you are a ninja foodie expert, and any tips you can provide regarding the use of simple, nourishing meals?
Oh, sure. Man, the Ninja Foodie is absolutely amazing. I started using it. I've always used like a pressure cooker and an air fryer, but I started using it back in 2018 when it first came out. And y'all, the two combined is just absolutely powerful. Not only that, but it has 8 different functions. So I'm able to, and we use this every single day, but I'm able to make simple, healthy meals in this multi cooker every single day in under 30 minutes. So I'm talking about pizza, I'm talking about if you like fried foods, but if you want it on a healthier way and a healthier alternative, I mean, you can make anything, quinoa, you can make a lot of different things in this multi-cooker. So I like to give my students, I like to give them a tip of eating a dark leafy green every single day. And I don't care if you put it in your eggs, I don't care if you put it on your pizza, in your noodles, whatever it is that you're eating, you should be at least eating a dark leafy green every single day. And a dark leafy green is definitely going to give you all of your vitamins. It's going to uplift your spirit, and it's just going to make you feel very, very good for your day, and having lots of energy for your day.
Okay.
So that is one tip that I could definitely give on the food. Now, your food should align with you and your body. So I can't speak for everybody, because everybody's DNA and everybody's body is different. But what I can say is eat your leafy greens every single day.
Okay. So you say that it recharges you, and it gives you the vitamins that you need. Okay.
Exactly.
Why should I care about that nutritional aspect if I am a leader or a small business owner?
Well, because it's basically like it's like a car. It's like a car. I mean, you have the fuel that you put in your car, and if you run out of fuel, the car can't go, the car can't drive. So it's the same thing. These foods that we're eating nowadays is very processed. They don't have the proper ingredients. And a lot of us are paying attention to, these carbs and just all of these things, when we should be paying attention to what's actually in your food. The food, the ingredients that's in your food is actually creating inflammation within your body. So if you're struggling with eczema, if you're struggling with maybe different type of cancers or different things like that, maybe bloating, you have some inflammation going on within your body, and it's coming from your food. It's basically coming from your food, and it's coming from being highly stressed. So being highly stressed, burnout leads to being stressed. So when you're overly stressed, then your body starts becoming inflamed. Then on top of that, you're piling in the McDonald's or the Chick-fil-A. So now you're overly inflamed. And now you're wondering why you're spewing out, not negativity, but you're sort of snappy at people. And it's because that you are inflamed within. So whatever that you're putting in, it's definitely going to come out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And you talk about the Love You More method. What exactly is that?
Wow. So like I said, I really believe that everything starts with you. So I like to think of the Love You More method as I break it down into 8 elements. So you have your primary elements, you have your primary nourishment versus your secondary nourishment. Your primary nourishment are things like your mental and emotional peace, relationships that nurture your soul, never-ending self-investment, a meaningful spiritual practice, quality sleep, empowering physical activities, and a thriving career. Those are your primary nourishments. They feed you, but they don't come on your plate. Your secondary nourishments are the foods that you actually eat and put in your mouth, and those foods should align with you and your body. So a lot of times, if you're overeating on your primary nourishments, then you tend to undereat on your secondary nourishments, and vice versa. So maybe you might have had a crazy day at work, and your staff didn't show up, your kids are acting up, somebody spilled chocolate milk on your white blazer, and you're stressed. So what do? We come home and we either grab that alcohol, we grab that chocolate cake, we grab that pizza or whatever it is. So we're leaning more on our secondary foods when we really should have been pouring into our primary foods and figuring out, why did we go to that chocolate cake? Or why are we going to that alcohol? Why are we going to those drugs? Why are we going to the sugar? That is what we need to be figuring out. And that's why your primary nourishment is super important over your secondary nourishment.
So it sounds like the primary is your psychological, is your psyche, is your mindset. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. And then the secondary are the habits and the behaviors that stem from your mindset.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So how can we apply these elements to our lives? Like,
Sure. I'm telling you, they all go hand in hand. So you need all of them. You need all 8 elements,
mm-hmm,
and they definitely go hand in hand. So maybe on your mental and emotional piece. I mean, a lot of that is maybe you have some childhood trauma, going on, or maybe you have, maybe you had an argument with your spouse, or your kids are acting up, or maybe maybe it's your parents. Whatever it is, your mental and emotional piece, I think that we need to address whatever that we're dealing with head on. A lot of us like to shove it up under the rug. Maybe, like me, you were sexually abused at a young age, and you have never quite dealt with that. And
mm-hmm,
so I think that we need to start dealing with the things and addressing the issues head on, calling it what it is, and actually dealing with those issues. Also, I think it is super important that we pay attention to what we're watching, what we're hearing, what we're listening, what we're feeding into our brain, because it also becomes us. So whatever we're putting in, just like I said, it's certainly going to come out. If you're watching, curse words all day long, uh, guess what's going to happen? You're going to
mm-hmm.
spew those curse words when you get mad. So it's certainly important to be mindful of what you're looking at, and what you're putting, and what you're listening to, and what you're putting into your mind and your soul.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And while this may not be in the same context, what comes to me is also be mindful of what you're putting into your business, into your
Mm,
leadership,
yes,
because that then births other things. That's how the company's culture come about. And the company's culture can be good, bad, or indifferent, which then links to productivity of your staff. Um,
exactly.
and so you've written a book. Tell us a little bit about your book and how the extension of being a holistic well-being strategies for high performing CEO moms, how does that link, and what can they expect out of the book?
Sure. So the book is called Love Them, Love You More.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 8 elements to redefine your priorities of well-being. And it is all about the Love You More method, really. I go in and I tell my story and how I got started. It's a lot longer than what I just mentioned before. But
Mm-hmm.
all of the trials and the tribulations and everything that I went through at a younger age, I go in and I tell it and I break it down, and then I also go into the whole Love You More method. So now I'm breaking down the different elements, and several tips and strategies on each element, on how you can apply those in your life. And then also I end the book in recipes. I talk about
Okay.
meal planning. I talk about eating in alignment with your body, and giving you the recipes that you can use, whether you buy the Ninja Foodie or not. Um, these recipes are really great. They're really simple. And of course, they are nourishment to your body.
Okay. And where can they pick up your book?
So currently it's on pre-sales, and you can buy that at toypenny.com. And we are looking to release it at the end of May. So then they'll be in stores then.
Okay. And finally, share with us one of those great recipes, one of the simple recipes that you have in the back of the book.
Oh, wow. So I have several, but I think one simple one, and that one that everyone knows, I could probably season too, but I have it's a warm balsamic kale salad, and everyone knows kale.
Mhm.
But this actually takes about 5 minutes. This is a
Okay.
5-minute nourishing recipe.
Hmm.
You can add your olive oil in your saute pan, add you some olive oil, some onions, some bell peppers, maybe some mushrooms, and that's it. Saute the mushrooms, saute all of those things for about maybe 2 minutes. From there, you add in your kale, you saute that for another 2 minutes, and then you add your balsamic vinegar, and that's it. That's the whole meal. Add a little salt and pepper, put it in the bowl, and put some, I always use some vegan Asiago cheese. And
Hmm.
that's it. That is the whole meal. That is the whole meal. You can add a protein. Maybe you had a piece of salmon before the night before and you have some left over, or maybe you have some baked chicken, you can add that to it. And that is a complete meal, y'all, a complete meal in 5 minutes.
Okay. Sounds pretty delicious.
Yes.
And so we appreciate you for sharing that. How can people catch up with you on social media? Where can they go to find you?
I am everywhere on Toy Penny. Toypenny.com is the website. Instagram official_Toy Penny. LinkedIn Toy Penny. Twitter Toy Penny. Everything, everywhere Toy Penny.
Okay. Well, thank you for being a guest today, Toy. And signing out, listen, everybody, the overall purpose of today's episode is to help you to understand that there is a large connection between nutrition and mental health. And so, and what we need to do is we need to learn how to set new habits and boundaries on our eating. I know personally, I've been working on this myself in terms of what gives me more energy, helps me to maintain the energy, because if I have more energy, I have better productivity. So signing out, remember, you can look at the video of this podcast on the Chantay Golson International Consulting Firm YouTube channel, or you can listen to the podcast on all podcast distribution. So make it a great day. The next video will drop on next Thursday. Take care for now. Mm-hmm.